Listen, life isn't about being everywhere, pleasing everyone, or making sure you're always available. No, life is about knowing your worth, protecting your energy, and making sure that when you step into a room, people feel your presence. And when you're gone, they remember you, they respect you, they miss you. Because when you give too much too often, people start to take you for granted. They start expecting your time, your energy, your kindness, without giving anything in return. And that's not how greatness works. That's not how value is built. You don't beg for respect, you command it. You don't chase validation, you create it. If you want people to miss you, if you want them to recognize your value, you have to give them a reason to. That means elevating yourself, focusing on your growth, and walking away from anything that doesn't serve your purpose. So let's talk about it. How do you raise your value? How do you make sure that when you're gone, they feel it? When you're silent, they listen, and when you come back, they respect you. Stop being too available. Scarcity creates value. Let's be real. When something is always available, always easy to get, always within reach, people start taking it for granted. That's just human nature. Think about it. When was the last time you truly appreciated the air you breathe? You don't, because it's always there. The same thing happens when you give too much of yourself to people too often, without limits. You're always answering that call, always showing up when they need something, always ready to drop everything just to make someone else's life easier. And what happens? They stop valuing you. They expect you to be there. They assume you'll always be available. And the moment you stop, the moment you take a step back, that's when they start noticing what they lost. That's when they start missing you. But listen, this isn't about playing games. This isn't about manipulating people. This is about knowing your worth and protecting your energy. Because if you don't set boundaries, if you don't respect your own time, how can you expect others to? Your time is currency. Spend it wisely. Time is the one thing you can never get back. Once it's gone forever. So why are you giving it away so freely? Why are you letting everyone have access to you without making them earn it? Think about the most successful people in the world. They're not available to just anyone, anytime. You can't just call up a billionaire and expect them to pick up the phone. You can't just walk into a CEO's office without an appointment. Why? Because they understand the power of scarcity. They understand that when you limit access, you increase value. Now, that doesn't mean you shut people out. It doesn't mean you stop being kind or helpful. It means you stop being so accessible that people stop appreciating you. It means you prioritize yourself first. Because when you do that, when you invest your time wisely, people start to see you differently. They start to respect your time because they know it's valuable. If you're always there, they'll never miss you. You ever notice how people chase what they can't have? How they desire what's just out of reach? That's the power of scarcity. Look at the luxury brands. The most expensive watches, the rarest cars, the VIP events. They don't just let anyone in. They create exclusivity. They make people feel like they have to work to earn a seat at the table. And that's exactly how you need to start treating yourself. Because if you're always showing up, always saying yes, always giving people unlimited access to you, why would they value it? They won't. The moment you step back, the moment you start saying no, the moment you stop always being the first one to reach out, that's when people realize your worth. That's when they start wondering where you went. That's when they start missing you. And when they miss you, they respect you. And when they respect you, they value you. Silence speaks louder than words. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. You don't have to announce your absence. You don't have to explain why you're taking a step back. Just do it. Just pull back and watch what happens. Watch how the same people who never had time for you suddenly start wondering why you're not around. Watch how they start reaching out when they realize you're not as available as you used to be. But here's the catch. When you come back, don't be the same. Use that time to level up. Work on yourself. Build something. Improve. Because when you return, you don't want to be where you left off. You want to be better. And when people see that, when they see that you weren't just gone, but you were growing, that's when they really start to miss you. That's when they start realizing what they lost. Be selective. Not everyone deserves access. The truth is, not everyone deserves to have access to you. Not everyone deserves to know your every move, your every plan, your every thought. You need to be selective. You need to protect your energy, your time, your mind. Because here's the thing, you can't pour into others if your own cup is empty. You can't keep giving if you're not taking time to refuel. So stop being everywhere for everyone all the time. Stop giving people unlimited access to you. Because when you raise your value, when you step back, when you make people miss you, you don't lose anything. You gain everything. And the people who truly value you, they'll prove it. Invest in yourself. Become so good they can't ignore you. If you want to raise your value, if you want people to miss you when you're gone, you have to make sure you're worth missing. That means investing in yourself. That means becoming so good, so talented, so disciplined, so undeniable that people have no. Because let's be honest, nobody remembers the person who stays the same. They remember the one who grows. They remember the one who improves. The one who keeps leveling up while everyone else stays in the same place. So the question is, are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you working on yourself every single day? Because if you're not, then why would anyone value your time, your presence, your energy? You have to give them a reason. Skill and excellence speak louder than words. You ever wonder why some people seem to command respect effortlessly? Why their presence alone shifts the energy in a room? It's because they've built themselves into something valuable. They've put in the work. They've sharpened their skills. They've trained their minds and their bodies to operate at a different level. And that's what you have to do. You have to master your craft. Whatever it is you do, whether it's business, art, sports, or leadership, become the best at it. Make it so that when people think about that field, your name is the first that comes to mind. Because when you reach that level, when your excellence speaks for itself, you don't have to beg for attention. You don't have to remind people of your worth. They'll see it. They'll feel it. And when you're not there, they'll miss you. Growth makes you irreplaceable. You ever notice how people regret losing someone only after they're gone? It's because they finally realize what they had. But here's the thing. You have to make sure you're worth regretting. If you're the same person today that you were last year, if you haven't grown, if you haven't developed, then why would anyone care if you're around or not? People don't miss average. They miss greatness. So every single day, ask yourself, am I becoming someone they can't ignore? Am I building myself into something they'll remember? Because when you do that, when you invest in yourself so deeply that your presence becomes a privilege, that's when people start to value you. That's when they start missing you. And the best part, You won't have to chase anyone ever again. They'll come looking for you. Silence is power. Move in the shadows and let your results speak. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. Real power, real growth, real success happens in silence. Too many people waste their time announcing every move they're about to make, telling the world their plans, hoping for validation. But the truth is, the more you talk, the more you give people a chance to doubt you, to discourage you, to block you before you even begin. You don't need to tell everyone what you're doing. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Move in silence, work in silence, build in silence, and when the time is right, let your results do the talking, because results, they don't lie. Stop seeking approval. Not everyone needs to know your next step. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need permission to succeed. They want approval. They want people to clap for them before they've even done anything. But listen, if you need applause to stay motivated, you're not ready for success. You don't need their validation. You don't need their opinion. You don't need their approval to chase your dreams. Because the moment you start seeking their validation, you give them power over you. You give them control over your decisions, over your confidence, over your ambition. So stop explaining yourself. Stop announcing your plans. Stop looking for recognition before you've put in the work. Just do it. And when they finally see what you've built, when they finally realize what you've accomplished, they won't have a choice but to respect you. They can't block what they don't see coming. Not everyone around you wants to see you win. That's just the truth. Some people smile in your face but secretly hope you fail. Some people pretend to support you, but the moment they see you rising, jealousy kicks in. And if they know your every move, they'll try to stop you before you even take off. That's why silence is power. Because when they don't know what you're doing, they can't interfere. They can't doubt you. They can't sabotage you. They can't slow you down. By the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late. You've already won. So protect your dreams. Move smart. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them see the finished product, not the process. Because when you operate like that, when you build in silence, when you stop seeking approval, you don't just raise your value, you become unstoppable. Distance creates value. Be less available, be more respected. People don't appreciate what's always there. Familiarity breeds complacency. When you make yourself too available, too easy to access, too predictable, people start to take you for granted. They assume you'll always be there, always answering, always ready to give, no matter how little they give in return. But let's be clear, you are not an option. You are not a convenience. You are not someone people should only remember when they need something. You are valuable. And the moment you start treating yourself that way, the world will follow. Scarcity increases demand. Make them feel your absence. Think about the rarest diamonds, the most exclusive events, the most sought-after opportunities. Why do people chase them? Why do people value them? Because they're not easily accessible, because they're not available to just anyone, anytime, anywhere. Your presence should work the same way. If people know they can reach you anytime, if they know you'll always be there no matter what, they won't value you the same way. But the moment you step back, the moment you stop being so available, the moment you stop giving all your time and energy away for free, everything changes. because now they feel your absence. Now they realize what they had, and suddenly your value skyrockets. Don't chase, attract. Master the art of walking away. Your value is non-negotiable. One of the most powerful things you can ever do is walk away from anything that doesn't respect your worth. Too many people stay in situations, relationships, and environments where they are not valued, hoping that one day things will change. But here's the truth. Your value doesn't decrease because someone fails to see it. When you truly understand your worth, when you truly recognize what you bring to the table, you stop begging, you stop convincing, you stop explaining. Instead, you set standards, you set boundaries. And when someone refuses to meet them, you walk away without hesitation. Never lower your standards just to fit in. You will be tested. There will be moments when people will try to make you feel like you're asking for too much, expecting too much, dreaming too big. Don't fall for it. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't meant to be just another person in the crowd. You were meant to stand out. And standing out means refusing to settle. It means choosing your own path, even when it's lonely. It means being okay with losing people who don't align with your vision. Because at the end of the day, it's better to stand alone in your worth than to be surrounded by people who don't appreciate it. Respect yourself first and watch how others follow. Everything starts with you. If you don't respect your time, no one else will. If you don't respect your boundaries, no one else will. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. That means no more chasing, no more begging, no more tolerating disrespect. The moment you decide that you deserve better and act like it, everything changes. And here's the best part. When you have the strength to walk away from what no longer serves you, you make space for what actually deserves you. Because when you stop accepting less, you start attracting more. Level up in silence, make them wonder how you did it. When you start valuing yourself, when you stop giving unlimited access to people who don't deserve it, something powerful happens. You start growing in ways you never imagined. You start evolving into a version of yourself that commands respect, not because you asked for it, but because you earned it. But here's the key. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just move in silence. Let them doubt you. Let them think you've disappeared. Let them assume you've lost. And then, when the time is right, let your success be the loudest thing they hear. Your growth will make some people uncomfortable. Let it. Not everyone will be happy when you start elevating. Some people liked you better when you were unsure, insecure, and dependent on their approval. They liked when they had access to you whenever they wanted, when they could control your energy, your confidence, your decisions. But now you're different. Now you know your worth. Now you've stepped back, focused on yourself, and started growing in ways they never expected. And that makes them uncomfortable. Let it, because your job is not to make them feel comfortable. Your job is to become everything you were meant to be. The best revenge, success they can't ignore. At the end of the day, you don't need to explain your value. You don't need to convince anyone to respect you. All you need to do is keep moving forward, keep working in silence, and keep becoming better. And then, one day, they'll look around and realize the access they once had to you is gone. One day, they'll wonder how you leveled up so fast, how you became so untouchable, how you built a life they can't even reach anymore. And that's when you'll know you didn't just raise your value, you became priceless. Here's a powerful ending to bring your message home with impact. The moment you choose yourself, everything changes. There will come a time in your life when you realize that not everyone deserves access to you, that not everyone clapping for you is actually happy for you, that not everyone around you has your best interests at heart. And when that moment comes, you will have two choices. Keep giving yourself away for free, keep letting people take you for granted, keep lowering your standards just to be accepted, or step back, level up, and make them miss you. Because here's the truth. People don't value what's always available. They don't respect what they think will always be there. But the moment you disappear, the moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop overgiving, oversharing, and overproving yourself, that's when they finally wake up. But by then, it's too late. Because the version of you they once had access to, that version no longer exists. You've evolved. You've outgrown them. And now they can only watch from a distance. Let your absence speak louder than words. People learn through loss. They don't appreciate something until it's gone. And that includes you. If they didn't see your value when you were around, let them feel it when you're gone. You don't have to beg. You don't have to argue. You don't have to prove anything. Just step back, focus on yourself, grow in silence, and let them realize on their own what they took for granted. The best part, by the time they finally understand your worth, you'll be on a whole new level. They will regret it, but you won't look back. One day, they will look for you. They will go searching for the old version of you, the one who always picked up the phone, the one who always showed up, the one who always forgave, always tolerated, always stayed, even when they didn't deserve it. But they won't find that person anymore because that version of you, it's gone. It died the moment you realized your worth. And now the only way to reach you is to rise to your level. Make them wonder, make them miss you, make them wish they had valued you sooner. But don't you dare shrink yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Don't you dare lower your standards just because they suddenly want you back. Your value is non-negotiable. And once you've raised it, there is no going back. So keep moving forward, keep leveling up, keep becoming the person they never expected you to become. Because your greatest power is knowing your worth and refusing to accept anything less. When you walk away, you walk into your power. You see, people only appreciate what they can no longer have. They don't value what they think will always be there. That's human nature. The moment you start raising your standards, the moment you stop giving people the version of yourself that they once took for granted, you shift the game. Now they're confused. Now they're curious. Now they're wondering, why isn't this person chasing anymore? Why aren't they answering like they used to? Why do they seem so different? And that right there is when they start to feel your absence. But let me tell you something. Their regret is not your responsibility. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You don't owe them access just because they suddenly realized what they lost. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself respect. You owe yourself the life you deserve. And if that means leaving some people behind, so be it. Your time is the most valuable currency. Stop giving it away for free. Listen carefully. Your time, your energy, your presence, that is your most valuable currency. And the biggest mistake people make? They hand it out like it's unlimited. But let me ask you, would you keep giving money to someone who doesn't appreciate it? Would you keep investing in something that gives you no return? Of course not. So why do we keep investing our energy in people who don't value us? You need to start treating yourself like a high-value asset because that's exactly what you are. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves a response. Not everyone deserves to have access to you just because they want it. Your energy is a privilege, not a right. And the moment you start moving like that, everything changes. Distance teaches the lessons that words never could. Some people won't understand your value until you're no longer there, and that's okay. Let them learn through your absence. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. You don't have to fight for people to see your worth. Just step back, move in silence. Focus on yourself and watch how their perception shifts. Because here's the thing. When you remove yourself, you remove their ability to take you for granted. When you stop showing up, they start wondering where you went. When you stop answering, they start realizing how much they relied on you. And that's when they finally understand your worth. But by then, you'll be on a whole new level. Raise your standards and watch who falls away. When you truly start valuing yourself, when you truly commit to your growth, you will lose people. And that's not a bad thing. That's the best thing that could ever happen to you. Because the ones who walk away, they were never meant to be with you in the first place. The ones who disappear, they only stayed because it was convenient. And the ones who suddenly regret losing you, they only valued you when they realized they couldn't replace you. And that's the hard truth. Some people don't love you. They love the benefits of having access to you. And when you take that access away, they're not missing you. They're missing what you did for them. But that's not your problem. Your only job is to keep elevating, keep growing, keep raising your value, because the ones who are truly meant for you, they will rise to your level. The power of silence. Make them feel your absence. You don't need to announce your moves. You don't need to prove anything. Just disappear for a while. Go build. Go heal. Go focus on yourself. Because when you move in silence, people start wondering. They start questioning. They start realizing how much of their energy revolved around you. And that's when you know you never needed to prove your worth. They just needed to lose access to it to finally understand. Final message. Make them regret, but never look back. One day, they will look for you. They will scroll through their contacts thinking about calling you. They will type out a message, wondering if they should send it. They will regret taking you for granted. But by then, you won't be there anymore. By then, you'll be too busy winning, too busy building, too busy living a life that doesn't have space for people who once underestimated you. And that's the greatest power you can ever have. So raise your value, move in silence, and make them miss you in ways they never expected.